Right now at 6 o'clock, 2 adults accused of abusing 2 children they were supposed to be taking care of.
At the Capitol, lawmakers are going to discuss several bills, including one that would allow medically assisted suicide.
And ahead at 6:30, there's an effort to make batteries safer. What scientists are doing that could be a game changer.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Thanks so much for starting yours off with us here at Fox 61 America Areas.
And I'm Keith McGilvery. Nice to spend part of the morning with you as we get a first live look outside. Erica, I think we're headed to Middletown.
That is another gorgeous shot. We're getting lucky there with Middletown the last couple days, right?
Community coming through in a big way. A beautiful spot to the location. Spring bucket list kicking off soon as well.
I wonder if there's some more fishermen out there today. Yeah, I get another smallmouth bass.
There's plenty to go
I don't know if you're going to be heading out there to fish in Middletown. Let us know.
The unofficial Fox 61 Fishing Derby, Matt Scott, underway.
That's not a bad idea, actually. You know, a couple of us like to go out there occasionally. The boy and I do that from time to time. So, yeah, I think that there might be a good idea there. Good morning to you. Dry weather if you're fishing today, tomorrow, and for the rest of the work week. A little more sunshine, when I say a little more heat, I mean a degree or two. That's it. Seasonal for the most part, but we are going to get some warm conditions in there. Split decision on the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up. Current temperatures at 6 a.m. They range from 33 degrees in Torrington up to 45 in New Haven. We have 41 in Hartford. It's not bad. It's a little cooler than it was yesterday at this time, but it's not like shockingly cold. The winds are fairly light, still out of the west. They'll be not as breezy as yesterday, but still kind of waggling out of the west, a little west and northerly west later on today before they switch to the south, and that'll really bump up the numbers. You can see that guidance on the satellite radar pictures, nothing in the way of precip. So the kids getting on the bus stop, kids going to the bus stop to get on the bus. Makes sense. This hour, 40 degrees and sunny skies, a couple clouds later on, 54. The clouds starting to thin out. As they do, temperatures, they start to warm up. We'll talk about that coming up. Look at a partially wet weekend, too, on the way. 6:02. Let's check in with the judge of the Fox 61 Fishing Derby. Well, you know, you gonna fish?
I enjoy fishing.
Are you? Good.
I really do. It's something that I've done since I was a kid, actually.
How do you really?
Fishing, going out on my Uncle Eddie's boat, going crabbing. I love all that.
The things you learn about the staff here. I
used to sit there with I still do, with the rope and the chicken tied, and you wait there for hours for a crab. You net it up, and then you win.
Wow.
And then you cook.
You sure learn a lot about your coworkers. Maybe too much at 6:03. No, I don't know.
All right. Luckily, not too much to get to out on the roadways here this morning. Steaming. That's pretty much how we cook the crabs. Hartford drive times, 91 to 84, Route 2, all looking good this morning. Traffic moving smoothly in and out of the capital city. We did have some construction over on Route 2 eastbound over in the East Hartford area. Traffic moving at about 30 miles an hour. Not too bad right now. Taking a live look out in Waterbury, I-84 eastbound is reopened for the morning commute. We did have the closure between exits 20 and 21 for construction. That is cleared. Traffic is moving freely. Very light volume out there right now. Down in New Haven, things are looking good on 91 and 95. And then rounding things out down in Fairfield County, some light to moderate volume starting to build on the southbound side of I-95 in Bridgeport. The Merritt Parkway not looking too bad. We'll check in again on the roads coming up in the next 30 minutes, guys.
Lauren, thanks. All right, 6:04 right now this morning. 2 adults are accused of abusing 2 young children in Southington.
So parents just calling it unimaginable, but court documents here, Erica, revealing the alleged reality of 2 kids who were malnourished and living in just awful conditions.
Yeah, some of these details really hard to hear. We're checking in with Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro. He's live in Southington at the police department with more on what we're learning about this.
Hey, good morning, guys. And disturbing, really an understatement with this case. Just the warning that, as Erica mentioned, some of the details in this case are hard to listen to. But this all starting after police say the Department of Children and Families was called to this home multiple times after getting a tip on the state's care line last summer. And that tip alleging that 2 kids were being physically abused and neglected at the home of 31-year-old Brian Bushnell and 29-year-old Casamarie Castro. Now, there was also a second complaint that came in from an extended family member. Among the discoveries by investigators, deplorable living conditions, feces on the wall of the kids' bedroom, their room locked from the outside, and court documents also allege the kids were malnourished and had unexplained bruising. Now, one of the victims telling investigators they were ignored when they told the couple they were hungry, and they were forced to pee themselves when they had to use the bathroom. Now, in cases like this, experts say it is critical to look out for those warning signs.
I think the biggest signs you're looking for is a change in behavior, right? Somewhere where the child's no longer acting the same. So they're either withdrawn, overly aggressive. If they are resistant to going home, that's another big sign. If they are resistant to having conversations about what's going on at home.
The kids in this case were eventually brought to stay with extended family for a few months, and officials say their conditions improved, so that is some good news. That couple was arrested and charged back in February. They are due back in court in June. We are live in Southington this morning. I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, our thanks to Angelo for that. Happening today in Milford, a former UConn student who's accused of killing 2 people in May of 2020 expected to be sentenced here. Peter Manfredonia pleading guilty to the charges against him back in February. Police say he killed 62-year-old Theodore Demers, assaulted another man, killed his childhood friend Nick Eisel, and then kidnapped Eisel's girlfriend. Manfredonia was later captured in Maryland a few days later, learning he could face up to 55 years in prison. Taking you to UConn now, where police have arrested 2 more people in connection to the vandalism on campus. That, of course, happening moments after the men's basketball team won the national championship. Among those arrests include 19-year-old Justin Tatzbaugh and 19-year-old Jose Gabriel Oliveras Suarez. Police say both could be seen on social media posts and surveillance causing damage. No word yet on how much it will cost to repair all that was wrecked on campus.
To Danbury now, where a man is being accused of threatening to kill a coworker and bomb his workplace. Officers say the threats were made on Monday at the Arc Med building. Police arrested Jun Yao Chen, charging him with threatening in the first degree. Now, after his arrest, police searched his home, taking out multiple guns, all registered to him, as well as hundreds of rounds of ammunition. And happening today, a committee vote is expected on the medical aid in dying bill. A lot of attention here. It would allow terminally ill patients across the state to end their own lives. The bill hotly debated over a number of years. Fox 61's Lindsay Kane live for us in Hartford this morning at the Capitol with the details. Lindsay, good morning.
Hi, good morning to you as well. Well, this bill today will be decided by the legislature's Judiciary Committee, which is a legal panel where actually similar bills have stalled over the past few years. Now, today the committee could decide to put this to a vote, or they could decide to put this to the side. Now, this bill is called Aid in Dying for Terminally Ill Patients, and last month it advanced out of the Public Health Committee. Now, last week the Senate referred to the Judiciary Committee for the decision. It's possible the bill could be brought to a vote today, but if there's not enough support, it could just be tabled. Now, last year with a similar medical aid in dying bill, it was put to a vote, but that vote voted down the legislation. Over the past decade, the state has seen similar aid in dying bills. Now, if passed, this bill would apply only to patients who are approved and qualified. Requirements include at least 21 years old and having lived in Connecticut for at least 1 year, having been diagnosed with a terminal illness with 6 months or less to live, having received counseling and having voluntarily expressed a wish to receive medical aid in dying, and submitting 2 separate written requests to a physician spaced at least 15 days apart. The legislation offers a ray of hope to terminally ill patients who want to control how and when they die, but the debate is frustrating to many.
It seems like everybody has an opinion on what should be allowed and what shouldn't be allowed in my one personal, private, and very sacred moment of death.
Now, opposers of this legislation say it promotes death instead of medical care. Now, a decision whether that's a vote or if the committee decides just to table this is expected at some point today. So stick with Fox 61 News on air, online, and on Fox 61 Plus as we await that decision. Live in Hartford this morning, Lindsay Kane, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Lindsay, thank you so much. All right, 6:10 now, and also happening at the Capitol, there is a bill on the table that would give renters more rights. Now, among the things it would do is limit the amount required for a security deposit, make additional rules for safety and maintenance, and it also increases the amount that towns and cities can fine landlords for violating ordinances. Lawmakers on the Judiciary Committee are expected to discuss and decide if the bill should move to the General Assembly for consideration. And also being proposed today is red light cameras, that program for the city of Waterbury. Now, as of right now, the bill proposes allowing cameras to take pictures of a vehicle's license plate if that vehicle does not stop at a red light in the city. In a previous public hearing, supporters say they believe the photos will help enforce traffic laws there in the City.